Vedanam samvedosmi.
Devanam asmi vasavaha.
Devanam asmi vasavaha.
Indriyanam manaschasmi.
Indriyanam
Indriyanam manaschasmi.
Bhutanam asmi chetana.
Bhutanam asmi chetana.
Of the Vedas, I am the Samveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in the living beings, I am the living force, knowledge. Yes, Priti, you read.
The difference between matter and spirit is that matter has no consciousness like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. We discussed
Om
this last week.
How we discuss it? Om
Yes, Prabhu.
Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutala Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Society. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Kshetra Gadadhara Shivasati Gauravantam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Rudranam Shankarasmi
Rudranam Shankaraschashi.
Viktesho Yaksha Rakshasham
Vikteshu
Rakshasam.
Vasunam Pavakaschasmi
Vasunam Pavakasmi.
Meru Shikari Namaham.
Meru Shikari Namaham.
Of the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of the wealth Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am Agni, fire. And on the mountain, I am Meru. Okay. Yeah. Who read? Manoj, you like to read?
There are 11 Rudras, of whom Shankara, Lord Shiva, is predominant. He is the incarnation of Supreme Lord in charge of modes of ignorance in the universe. Among the demigods, Kuvera is the chief treasurer, and he is a representation of the Supreme Lord. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources.
Okay. Kuvera, yeah, Krishna is choosing different things. Of the Rudras, I have seen choosing the chief Shankara, Lord Shiva. 11 Rudras. Anybody knows the name?
I've read it, Prabhu. But 5th canto Bhagavatam.
Were there 11 names? Yeah. I was seeing on the net
I don't-
somewhere something. So like different sets are there. Purusho Purodasham cha Mukhyam Mam.
Purodasham cha Mukhyamam.
And as this is a previous look at understood, the 11 Rudras, Shankara, Lord Shiva is predominant. He is the kind of Supreme Lord in mode ignorance. We know that. Kuvera chief treasurer, okay, and Mount Meru is famed for his niche capacity resources. This is some part of the universe we may not see. Right? Anybody has seen Mount Meru? Where does the Bhagavata Mount Meru come? Anybody remember? Which past time?
Where in Bhagavatam Mount Meru comes? Prabhu, is it that maybe what we read this morning, 6th canto, 3rd chapter, where Yamraj is instructing Yamdutas about, and then Sukadeva Goswami says, I went to Agastya Rishi, who was doing austerity on Mount Meru.
Oh, there Agastya Rishi comes. Mount Meru. What is the central mountain is called Mount Meru? Which is it called in the universal discussion?
Prabhu, I'm sorry.
In the discussion of the universe in the 5th canto, what is the center mountain made of gold? Is that the Mount Meru, or is it something else?
I don't remember on top of my head.
Yeah.
What सुमेरु पर्वत का वो तो नहीं होता जब समुद्र मंथन?
Sumeru, no?
I think so.
Is it okay in the tell him.
समुद्र मंथन के टाइम तो नहीं प्रभु जी?
हाँ, वो कौन सा
सुमेरु
mountain था?
पर्वत क्या बनाया था? Which पर्वत was that? I don't know. I have read but I don't. I think so. मेरु पर्वत समुद्र मंथन के लिए
Proper scientist को he catches on the neck. I think so means proper will catch. ठीक है. अभी we will continue. ठीक है. Some people are trying to join. They don't know how to join. They should practice before. Okay. Purushodasam cha mukhyamam. Preeti, you note down this Meru mountain. Get us more details. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
One thing was that is the Samudra Manthan mein kaun sa mountain use hua tha? Is it the same mountain referred here? And the second thing, in the center of the universe there is a golden mountain in our universe. Correct? Is it the same Meru mountain? Okay. Purushodasam cha mukhyamam vidhi partha brahaspatim. Vidhi partha
बृहस्पति
सेनानीनामहं स्कन्दः
सेनानीनामहं स्कन्दः
सरसाम् अस्मि सागरः
सरसाम् अस्मि सागरः
Of the priests of Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brahaspati, the lord of devotion. Of generals, I am Skanda, the lord of war. And the body of the water, I am the ocean. Yes, so Manoj, you want to read or your Mrs. wants to read?
Want to read? Yeah.
Indra is the chief demigod of heavenly planets and is known as the king of heavens. The planet in which he reigns is called Indraloka. Brihaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly, Skanda, the son of Parvati, and Lord Shiva is the chief of all military commanders and of all bodies of water. The ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only give hints of his greatness.
Okay. So we get a hint. See, basically, yeah, this is Prabhupada saying so nicely. When you see an ocean, it is so massive. Prabhupada takes an example when he was traveling to America. Is my voice clear? No problem?
No problem. It's clear.
When Prabhupada was traveling to America on the huge ocean, he said it was looking like a matchstick on the ocean, being tossed around. So it is so huge, the ocean. And you look at the ocean, you can get an idea. The Krishna is great, but you can't see. But here is a symbolism. Ocean is so great. We can understand Krishna is so great, like ocean is so great. These are all other examples also attributed to the Krishna's greatness. So whatever qualities they have, whatever power they have, Krishna has all of them. So therefore, in that way, they are all representation of Krishna. Prabhupada says these representative Krishna only give hints of his greatness. Very nice. So this idea we are getting out from this. Okay, I'll just go translation now. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu, the one. Oh, okay, let us chant this. Maharshinam Bhrigu Deham.
Maharshinam Bhrigurdeham.
Giramasmi Ekam Aksharam.
Giramasmi Ekam Asharam.
Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi.
Yagnanam japa yagno asmi.
Savaranam Himalayaha.
Savaranam Himalaya.
Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am chanting of the holy name Japa. And of the immovable things, I am Himalayas. Okay. Yes. Who will read now? Priti can read.
Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several sons for the propagation of various kinds of species. The most powerful of his sons is Bhrigu, who is also the greatest sage. Of all the transcendental vibrations, the Omkara represents the supreme. Of all the sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes
sacrifices are recommended.
Animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. It is the simplest and purest. Whatever is sublime in the world is a representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the greatest mountains in the world, also represent him. The mount named Meru was mentioned in a previous verse, but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas Himalayas are never movable. Thus, the Himalayas are greater than Meru.
This is the Meru which was went to Samudra Manthan, correct?
I think so.
It was taken for Samudra Manthan, correct?
Meru,
and that is Sumeru. In the center is Sumeru, not Meru. Sumeru. Okay, check us now. So now this is a very important verse. What is the great? We got this. So many people say that where you say so much to some Hare Krishna mantra, where in Bhagavad Gita it is said we should chant mantras, and where Yagna Nam Japa Yagnasmi. We got it? Among
yes.
Yagnas and Japa Yagna. Krishna says that is the best among all the Yagnas. And he's saying that generally in all Yagna there is so much animal sacrifices, so many. In this Yagna there is nothing. So sweet. Bhrigu is, sometimes he comes. That his beard was cut or something like that, or mustache was cut, something happened. There was a big fight between Bhrigu protecting Bhrigu, and that is the time Shiva was inserted by Daksha, and the cursing, counter cursing went on. No? Anybody remember? Hare Krishna. Oh, Deka, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Deka.
Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Krishna, welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you are on via Wi-Fi or directly on mobile?
Directly on mobile, sir.
You are using mobile data or you are using Wi-Fi for mobile?
Mobile data, sir.
Okay, take it. If you have a Wi-Fi connection, it is more convenient for you. Okay?
Yeah. It's okay, sir. I have data. Yes. Okay, sir.
Okay. You see at the end how much data remains. Okay. Otherwise,
okay,
you can. Otherwise, you can take it. No problem. Okay. He was waiting for a long time. He got a mobile. Yes. Yes, Himali. Hey, where is the pastime Himali of this book? Bhagavatam. I remember in that pastime he was there. There was a big fight between the soldiers of Lord Shiva and other side the Devatas, when Lord Shiva was inserted and Sati gave up her body. At that time, Bhrigu got some. They come to attack the sacrificial arena. So Bhrigu does some homa, and all the Danavas run away. And the next time there was a big demon which was sent by Lord Shiva, and which punishes everybody, and he kills finally Daksha. Okay, that pastime. Anybody remember Bhrigu in any pastime? Ashwatham sarva vrikshanam devarshinam cha naradaha gandharvanam chitrarataha siddhanam kapilo munihi. Of the trees, I am the holy fig tree. Among the sages and demigods, I am Narada. Of the singers, of the gods, Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. And among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Yeah, somebody, Manoj, you can read. Hey, Apurva Deka, you are able to see this?
No, sir. I can hear, but I can see the texts.
Himali, you can see. You like to read? Hare Krishna. Yes. It is silent, Himali. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes, you can read now. Okay, I'll read them. The fig tree, Ashwatha, is one of the most. What happened?
Prabhu, my network is not so good, Prabhu.
Take it. Preeti, you like to read?
The fig tree, Ashwatha, is one of the most beautiful and highest trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Amongst the demigods, they also worship Narada, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them, the best singer is Chitraratha. Amongst the perpetually living entities, Kapila is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Later, another Kapila became famous, but his philosophy was atheistic. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between them.
So Narada, Prabhupada has got an opportunity. He said, the greatest devotee in this universe. So nice. Devotees take pleasure in glorifying other devotees. The greatest devotee in the universe, Narada. And thus he represented Krishna as a devotee. Chitraratha, any past name Chitraratha? You have heard Chitraratha singing? Perpetual living entity. Kapila, this Bhagavatam we read, teachings of Lord Kapila to his mother Devavati. This Kapila is an incarnation of God. And the general what people know as Kapila in India, Kapila Sankhya Varta study, is a Nastika. So that is not recommended. Prabhupada has taken a time to open this fact, to read this. Wide gulf of difference between them. Of horses, know me to be Ucheshava, who rose out of the ocean, born of the elixir of immortality. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among men, I am the monarch. Yes, Preeti, you only read. Okay, Manoj is there. Manoj can read. Manoj?
Yes, Prabhuji. The devotee, demigods, and demons once took a sea journey. On this journey, nectar and poison were produced, and Lord Shiva drank the poison. From the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Ucheshrava. Another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant named Airavata. Because these two animals were produced from nectar, they have special significance and they are representatives of Krishna. Amongst the human beings, the king is representative of Krishna because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe, and the kings, who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications, are maintainer of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaja Yudhishthira, Maharaja Parikshit, and Lord Rama were all highly righteous kings who always thought of the citizens' welfare. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to be the representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principle of religion, monarchy decayed and is now finally abolished. It is to be understood that in the past, however, people were more happy under righteous kings.
So Prabhupada never liked this democracy. Whenever he has opportunity experience, monarchy was always nice and people are much more happy. I also feel personally, somebody is fit to rule, better instead of making prime minister, making monarch. Will be able to do something. Otherwise, Prabhupada said the multi-party politics is never liked. What is the word Prabhupada used for democracy?
Demon crazy.
Demon crazy. This is a special, nectar formation. So many animals came out. Even Lakshmi came out from that one incarnation. Lakshmi, who accepted Krishna as a Lord. She came out and all the Devata Danavas dressed up nicely, thinking that she will come to them, and finally she went to the shelter of the Supreme Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Keshava. Hare Krishna.
This is my son.
Huh?
This is my son.
Oh.
Krishna, what is his name, Prabhu?
His name is Abhay Charan.
What is his name?
Abhay Charan.
Abhay Charan.
What?
Prabhupada's
His name is Abhay Charan.
Abhay Charan Bhatt, है ना? You're not Bhatt.
Abhay Charan Pundur.
Hare Krishna.
Now he is how 3-year-old?
Prabhu?
How many? 3-year-old?
3.5. Yes, Prabhu.
Big eyes.
Cute.
Now, he understands to talk now?
Prabhu?
He can talk now? No. He knows which languages? Malayalam?
Talks. Yeah, talks.
Malayalam. How many languages? Malayalam, Kannada?
Only Kannada. Now only Kannada and Tulu.
Tulu.
He says how many languages is counting? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. There's the problem in South India. They have to learn 10 languages.
Son never sit.
Yes, Kriti. What do we do? Little kirtan for him? So he can understand.
Last time Shiva Prasad Prabhu and all had come here last Navaratri.
Correct.
He liked Kirtan so much.
Oh,
he didn't
get up the Kirtan at when? This time? When they all came?
Sujesh Prabhu and all that. No, not this time. This time, last time.
Okay.
He was sitting there. He didn't move at all.
So in the end, we will have big Kirtan today.
Yes, Prabhu. I don't know whether I can stay till then. He starts crying. Then
we will not delay. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Preeti is also same, but his mother is there to help.
Oh, Jay. That's Preeti mother.
Gurukul now. We need a Gurukul now. We need so many children.
Yes, Prabhu. Everybody has.
Yeah, Rika has Chaitanya. Five 2 daughters. And Ritu has a daughter. Pallavi has a daughter, correct?
Yes, Prabhu. Open,
Of the weapons I am Thunderbolt, I am the cows, I am Surabhi, giver of the abundant milk. Co-creators, I am Thandarpa, the god of love. The serpents, I am Vasuki, the chief. Yes. Who will read Manoj? Read.
The thunderbolt, indeed a mighty weapon, represents Krishna's power. In Krishna Loka, in the spiritual sky, there are cows which can be milked at any time, and they give as much milk as one likes. Of course, such cows do not exist in this material world, but there is mention of them in Krishna Loka. The Lord keeps many such cows which are called Surabhi. It is stated in the stated that Lord is engaged in herding the Surabhi cows. Kandarpa is the sex desire for presenting good sons. Therefore, Kandarpa is the representative of Krishna. Sometimes sex is engaged in only for sense gratification. Such sex does not represent Krishna, but sex for the generation of good children is called Kandarpa and represents Krishna.
Yes, so we need Krishna everywhere, wherever Krishna is pleased, wherever Krishna is represented, everywhere, see all aspects of life. and nothing is powerful like thunderbolt. Recently, again, somebody died in this area by a thunderstrike. Cows, Surabhi Prabhupada says people like to keep dogs as pets, but Krishna like cows as pets. Okay. Krishna's choice is best. Appropriated and Kandarpa. Prabhupada said, no, sometimes hobby. People like to keep dogs as hobby, and Krishna keeps cows as hobby. I am Kandarpa, god of love, and Prabhupada then elaborated on that. As serpents and Vasuki, which yes, somebody likes to say something till here? Somebody wants to add something. Prabhupada gave a very nice statement. It gives all this discussion is giving a hint of greatness of Krishna. We just read few shlokas before. It's giving a hint of Krishna's greatness because all these powers are included within Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna. Of the celestial Naga snakes, I am Ananta. Of the aquatic deities, I am Varuna. Of the departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of the law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Among the many celestial Naga serpent, Ananta is the greatest, as is Varuna among the aquatics. They both represent Krishna. There is also a planet of trees resided over Aryama. This is actually Pitri. There's a Pitri provided over Aryama will represent Krishna. There are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants, and among them Yama is the chief. Yama is situated in the planet near the earthly planet, and after death, or those who are very simple are taken there. And Yama arranges different kind of punishment on them. So Yama, when he is punishing you, he also represents Krishna. So you want to see Yamaraj or you want to see Krishna? Yes, Dega. After death, you want to see Yamaraj or you want to see Krishna? His voice is not coming.
Krishna Prabhu.
You all want to see Krishna. But even if you see Yamaraj, don't worry, he represents Krishna only. Okay? Nothing unjust happens in Krishna's kingdom. So if Krishna feels that we need to be reformed in some way, he has surrendered to that.
Sir, I'd like to see Krishna.
Oh, you want to see Krishna? Okay, good. We thought we are waiting for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Among the Daitya demons, I am a devoted Prahlad. Among subduers, I am Nine. Among beasts, I am Lion. Among birds, I am Garuda, the feathered carrier of Vishnu. Would like to read? Yes, Preeti. Your mother can read, Preeti.
Yes, Prabhu. Papi, he's telling me.
Okay. Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The son of Aditi are called Adityas, and the sons of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of Lord, and all the Daityas are atheistic. Although Prahlada was born in the family of Daityas, he was great devotee from the childhood. Because of his devotional service and godly nature, he is considered to be the representative of Krishna. There are many subduing principles, but time wears down all things in the material universe, and so represents Krishna. Of the many animals, the lion is the most powerful and ferocious, and of the million varieties of bird, Garuda, the bearer of Lord Vishnu, is the greatest.
When you see a powerful lion, you can know it represents Krishna. That's so powerful. It gives a hint of Krishna's greatness. Garuda, that Samudra Manthan lifted all the Devatas, Daitya, and the mountain also. Hey, Kesha, which is the mountain which was in Samudra Manthan? Meru, no?
Mandara.
Huh?
Mount Meru. Meru.
So, in the center of the universe, which is the Mount Sumeru.
Sumeru. Yes, bro.
That is Sumeru, not Meru.
Golden.
Sumeru is a golden mountain.
Yes, bro. So how come Prahlad devotee was born in the family of Daityas?
Yes, Preeti. Start.
I don't
Why
know the
was
reason, but maybe Krishna wished.
नो नो तो वो मिला था ना, बुक मिला था ना, 2-3 जन्म लेंगे रावण
नहीं, वो
का।
तो
No, but Prahlad was born
That is
in
Hiranyakashipu.
That is why Hiranyakashipu was Hiranyakashipu.
क्योंकि उनको भगवान से वो मिलना था 3 जन्म के बाद, फिर से अड़कते थे।
It is there when all Brahma and all go to pray to Lord Vishnu, and that what will happen to this Hiranyakashipu? He says that the kind of boons he has from Brahma, nobody can fight with him now. But when you insert a great devotee called Prahlad, his own son, he loses all those benedictions. You know, when you insert a great acharya like Prahlad, then everything is wrong. Then you will be destroyed. Correct? Like Bali Maharaj, he waited for the curse from Shukracharya. Same way in Hiranyakashipu case, he got benediction from Brahma. There he says that even though Krishna obeyed all the blessings of Brahma, still I don't know how we connect that. Prahlad, why he came into that? But to set an example, one place he said, Krishna, you send me to this world to set an example of a devotee. Anybody? Yes, Preeti, we can't solve this. Why he was born in demonic family?
Prabhu, I have not heard Prabhupada so far telling the reason why Prahlad Maharaj was the son of Hiranyakashipu. I mean, why Hiranyakashipu was Hiranyakashipu, that we know, but why Prahlad Maharaj was Hiranyakashipu's son, I don't know. Maybe because Narada blessed the mother and the baby Prahlad Maharaj. I can.
But he was already Mahabharata. Narada said he is a plain devotee of the Lord. He said, and they are planning to kill Prahlad Maharaj. He said, even if you want,
Because he heard from Narada. Right, Prabhu.
So as a lesson to show that Narada
Association of devotees.
yeah, is so powerful. And to show association of devotee is so powerful, and you're not limited. Even if you're born to very demonic family, still you can become a devotee. No way we are limited. कहाँ से आ रही है आवाज? Dekha, make it silent. Yes. Chalo, we go next shloka.
Prabhu, I'll be right back, Prabhu. Just 5 minutes.
Pavana pavatam asmi Rama shastra vratam aham
Ram
Dashanam makaras chasmi
Dashana Makaras Chashmi
Shotasam asmi Janavi
Janavi.
Of the purifiers I am the wind, of the wielders of weapon I am Rama, of the fishes I am the shark, and of the flowing rivers I am Ganges. These all represent Againopolis, the sea. Who will read now? Preeti, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, you want Ananta Lakshmi to read?
Yeah, I don't know whether she can.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it if you want to. Hello.
Yeah, you can read. Yeah, you can read.
Of all the aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Of all the aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest and is certainly most dangerous to man. Thus, the shark represents Krishna. And of rivers, the greatest in India is Mother Ganges, Lord Ramachandra of Ramayana, an incarnation of Krishna, is the mightiest of all.
Okay, shark is always. You have seen the shark attack? It happens in America, I heard. In India, we don't hear about that. People are scared of shark when they go for beach. And all the rivers, yes, that's in India, the greatest river, Ganges. Lord Ramachandra is the builder of the mightiest of bodies. Of all the creation, I am the beginning, the end, and the middle. O Arjuna, of all the sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and amongst logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Yes, Ananta Lakshmi.
Among the created manifestation, the total material elements are first created by Mahavishnu and are annihilated by Lord Shiva. Brahma is a secondary creator. All these created elements are different incarnations of material qualities of Supreme Lord. Therefore, He is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creations. Regarding the spiritual science of self, there are many literatures such as 4 Vedas, the Vedanta Sutra, the Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Gita. These are all representatives of Krishna. Among logicians, there are different stages of argument. The presentation of evidence is called japa. The attempt to defeat one another is called vitanda. And the final conclusion is called vada. The conclusive truth and end of all reasoning process is Krishna. Prabhuji, am I audible?
50%.
Among logicians, there are different stages of argument.
When you had to argue, there were so many rules.
Another is called Vitanda.
They have straw man argument nowadays, so many. They already had all this. Ardha Kukuti Nyaya, Tandula Vishika Nyaya. You heard about this? Ardha Kukuti Nyaya, Tandula Vishika Nyaya. So many all this. So argument, how to do. People used to be so peaceful. If you say I don't agree, they used to discuss the Brahmanas particularly, and they would discuss the philosophy based on rules of distinction, the rules of logic, and they will, that is the ground rules they use. Sarga Visarga. Sarga is first creation of the Supreme Lord, basic elements, and Brahma is Visarga. Anybody knows what are the 10 topics of Bhagavatam? First one is Sarga, second one is this Bhagavatam. So later we will discuss Bhagavatam. What are the 5 topics of Gita?
Oh, Kala, Karma, soul,
Jiva,
Kala,
Karma, Ishvara, Prakriti.
Yes. Do it.
Over 5 or so. Similarly, Bhagavatam, another way it is divided, there are 10 topics. Last Ashraya is Krishna. Sarga, Visarga.
Prabhu, what are Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, and
Ishvara.
Ishvara. Okay.
5 topics. So anyway, this is less of philosophy here, more of these shlokas are showing that hint of Krishna's greatness. Okay, and the science. Among all the science, we are so excited about various sciences today. We want to become, some kind of a degree we want, but the real degree is that spiritual science. If you can understand spiritual science, it's a real achievement. So we should try to understand spiritual science. And Bhagavad Gita is not a book of religion, that is a misfortune or a mythology. Most of the people say mythology, whenever they want to refer. Somebody wrote recently in one group, a Hindu mythology, they talk Dashara is this and Dashara is that. I said, what is it? Why you want to worship me? So why it's very unfortunate. It's a spiritual science. And it is so important science that no other science can equal to. That famous instance is that Prabhupada went to MIT, they asked Prabhupada, what do you say about a campus? Prabhupada said, do you teach what is the difference between the living body and dead body? They said, the soul. Prabhupada said, yes. Immediately they said, no, we are sorry, we don't have that department. Prabhupada said, then everything is useless. So without spiritual science, All education is useless. Yes, is convinced. Pura is convinced. Of letters, I am Akshara A. Among compounds, I am the dual word. I am the inexhaustible time, and of the creators, I am Brahma, whose manifold faces turn everywhere. Yeah. You want to read Deka? Read. Purple. Read the purple. Okay, you can't see. You can't see, no? Yeah, read. Akara. It will come. It has come, nothing can be sounded. Therefore, it is the beginning of sound. Dvanda, Dvanda. Just like we have in computer, nowadays quad core. So Brahma is a quad core processor. For some Brahmas are bigger, octa core and centicore, yeah, 1000 core. I am all devouring death, and I am generator of all things yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. Yes, we will read this. Is there around?
As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus, death is devouring every living entity at every moment. But the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. All species of life undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and finally vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. The 6 opulences listed are considered to be feminine. If a woman possesses all of them or some of them, she becomes glorious. Sanskrit is a perfect language and is therefore very glorious. After studying, if one can remember the subject matter, he is gifted with good memory or smriti. One need not read many books on different subject matters. The ability to remember a few and quote them when necessary is also another opulence.
Correct. The tendency of reading too many books in any topic, we get confused now. So better we read few books and we read them thoroughly. Just like Lord Chaitanya, he picked up Krishna Katha among all. Some people have a tendency. We have one person here. He keeps reading so many Puranas and he's thoroughly confused. One day I told him, see, according to Shastra evidence, Mayapur is the holiest place. अरे नहीं, उस पुराण में लिखा है सबसे important चीज काशी और उसमें लिखा है वो you can thoroughly confuse. Therefore, because it is not easy, the Goswamis were the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya. What was their work given on Lord Chaitanya? You study all the scriptures, and through the scriptures establish all the conclusive teachings of Krishna. They have done it. But for us, it's not impossible unless we have a proper understanding. So better this is read a few books and we understand them. We understand Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar Devotion, Brahma Samhita, all this Vishopanishad. These books itself to read once properly takes, I think, 3 to 4 years it takes for any person. One round. So how there is a chance to read, and by the time you finish, you've forgotten what you did in the first book. So you have to keep. Yes, Preeti, how much time it takes to finish these important books? One round.
Prabhu, I heard Prabhupada lecture once. He said that to finish each shloka, if you read one shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam every day of your life, it will take 70 years of the life. One shloka every day if we read, then it will take this many years.
Yeah. So then, so
So
it's
the
true to
life will
understand.
So and you're asking like how many rounds? Don't know.
No, one time Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita reading, he says read one chapter a day. So in 18 days you finish Bhagavad Gita, do it 4 times. Then you know what is where in Gita. He says, one place he says this kind of speed for reading. But depends, that require 2.5, 3 hours you require. Of him sang the Prahasama sung to Lord Indra, of the poetry and the Gayatri verse sung daily by the Brahmanas, of the months and November and December, and of the seasons and flower bearing spring. Yes, Preeti, you'll read. Your voice is coming clear.
Yes, Prabhu. It has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all Vedas, the Samved is rich with beautiful songs placed by the various demigods. One of these songs is Brihat Sama, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definite rules that regulate poetry. Rhyme and meter are not written whimsically, as in much modern poetry. Amongst the regulated poetry, the Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted by the duly qualified Brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri Mantra is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Gayatri Mantra is specially meant for God realization, it represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success in chanting it, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness according to the laws of material nature, in order to chant the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra is very important in Vedic civilization and is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. Brahma is its initiator, and it is passed down from him in disciplic succession. The months of November and December are considered the best of all months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time, and the people become very happy. Of course, spring is the season universally liked because it is neither too hot nor too cold, and the flowers and trees blossom and flourish. Spring, there are also many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastime. Therefore, it is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons, and it is the representative of the Supreme Lord Krishna.
So here Prabhupada has taken time to explain. This was as far as the worship of the Devatas, no? I remember when we had the inauguration of the temple in Bangalore, we had, this, we got some, this, Purohits to chant all these Vedic mantras. And we saw them doing that. For each Devata, there is a different tune and different mantra. We to call the predominating name Devatas, So among them, because Indra is the king among the Devatas, this is the sweetest tune. It used to be something he used to be called. Anybody knows Indra's tune to call Indra? There is some. Gayatri has been good. Yes, Preeti?
No, I don't know.
Therefore, they generally do functions during Uttarayana because that time Devatas are, their 1 year is equal to their 1 day is equal to our 1 year. So since they give them 50% time to take rest, so 50% time they are in office, 12 hours. So generally people do all festival during Uttarayana so that they invite the Devatas. They wait for the Makar Sankranti after the Devatas they come. So generally people do all auspicious functions during that. Gayatri, there is a lot of glorification. Basically, in our movement, basic thing is people who are chanting 16 now. For some time, proper time, it was 6 months to 1 year, something like that. They used to take up the chanting of the Gayatri. It's an additional engine. Actually, holy name is competent to take us back to God. But Gayatri is the one which comes with Diksha. Diksha actually means giving Gayatri, Upanayana. It gives additional engine. And another thing is that Gayatri is not effective unless you are in Sattva-guna. Therefore, the person who is sincerely chanting and is purified adds up this external second engine. And our Gayatri is also different from normal Gayatri people chant. People chant one Gayatri, the Kam Gayatri, Om Bhuva Swaha. But actually, we chant several Gayatris. One is a meditation on this Gayatri, Om Bhuva Swaha, on Surya Narayana, and then the two on Guru, two on Chaitanya, and two on Krishna. That becomes the second engine. And then person who is chanting Gayatri, generally he is the one who also does deity worships. I am also the gambling of the cheats, and I am this, and of the splendid I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Yes, Manoj.
Put by Srila Prabhupada. There are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna as the supreme. Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among enterprising industrialists, he is the most enterprising. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous. And among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhana hill. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise. And no one can surpass him in strength.
Yes, who likes to comment? Preeti likes to comment on this.
Yes, Prabhu. Hello. I just feel Prabhupada is presenting God in a very complete manner. That one Mataji is there. I had association of meeting them. Her name is Danakeli Mataji. I told you about them, Prabhu. She and her husband is Prabhupada disciple. They travel all over US and they just live in a small van and they go to colleges and preach. They don't have a house. They just live in that van. So she was telling me once that when she read Prabhupada's book, she's American. So when she read Prabhupada's book, so I think it's the same. Prabhupada says God is a person. It's a personality. God has qualities. So when he explains no one can surpass him in cheating, no one can surpass him in splendor, no one can surpass him in victory, in enterprise or in strength, it presents Krishna in a very complete manner. It becomes very easy for a person like us to understand. Like when Krishna Prabhupada says, if somebody says you're God, then check, when you were 7 years old, did you lift the Govardhan hill on your left fifth finger and for 7 days and you did not sweat at all? Did you do that? No. Then you're not God, you're dog. And today, last night I was hearing Krishna married 16,108 wives. So when Krishna married all of them, then those wives had to wait 60,108 days to meet their husband? No. He is the best entrepreneur. He built 16,108 palaces and expanded himself into so many farms to be with their wife and to give them all comforts and respect because he married them. So Krishna is full of splendor. Krishna is full of victory. He gives example of victory everywhere. And this Arjuna, this is the battlefield where he is instructing Arjuna that you have to fight. You're going to win. So wherever, and Krishna says, and Bhagavad Gita also there is a shloka, I don't remember the full, but Yatra Dhananjaya
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Arjuna.
Yatra Panurdana Tatra
So
Shri
wherever,
Devo
yes, Prabhu. So that.
Indravani. Continue.
So wherever there is Arjuna and Krishna, there is automatically victory. So it feels very nice because generally the idea of the god is very dull. You know, there is nothing to do. But over here, Krishna is presented in such a well decorated manner that there is so much to do. And then when we become little bit Krishna conscious, not much, little bit, like just seeing the devotees, oh my God, they don't even have time. And I thought this was an armchair philosophy.
So, Krishna's grace. Yes, Prabhupada says many times, Krishna is a person. It's surprising actually because we are so abhor the idea of somebody as controller. But then Krishna, where Prabhupada says, when you see somebody great, you naturally surrender to him. It's very natural for us. Correct? In all spheres of our life, you see a big doctor. We can't even conceive how much he knows. We just hear him word by word. Correct? We just surrender to him. Same way we surrender to Krishna because it's all out. It's great. And it's very funny. Prabhupada Krishna says that he's the gambling of the cheats. Okay? So if you go to cheat Krishna, like in our spiritual life, he'll cheat you so nicely, you'll not know what happened. It is said that when Duryodhana wanted to arrest Krishna, he found himself completely confused. Krishna showed him a mini Vishnu and he didn't know what to do with the rope. No one can surpass. I think it's like Prabhupada's from his heart is telling you can't surpass Krishna in any angle. Of the descendant of Rishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna, of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among the great thinkings, I am Ushana. Yes, Manoj.
Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Vasudeva is the immediate expansion of Krishna. Both Lord Krishna and Baladeva appear as sons of Vasudeva. Amongst the sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous and valiant. Indeed, he is the best of men and therefore represents Krishna. Among the Munis, or learned men conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest because he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. And Vyasa is also known as incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyasa also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Ushana was the spiritual master of the demons. He was extremely intelligent, far-seeing, political, and spiritual in every way. Thus, Ushana is another representative of opulence of Krishna.
Ushana is another name of Shukracharya, no? Yes. Ushana is Shukracharya. And then Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Krishna becomes the first expansion. Professor Vasudeva name can be taken both for Krishna and Balaram also. The both comes as son of Vasudeva. If you derive that, Arjuna is famous in the variant. Vyasa is called Mahamuni among all the sages. Anything somebody wants to add? Any questions somebody has till now? Till now we saw the greatness. Still not there. We can finish this. Okay. Among punishment, I am the rod of chastisement, and those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. The wise, I am wisdom. Yes, Manoj, keep reading. You read the purport, I read the translation. Preeti, you have anything you say? You add the purport. Yeah.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down the miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the rod of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself.
Everybody is silent now. One can make progress very quickly. I think we don't talk nonsense, correct? And we can make progress quickly because so much time goes actually. So much time. You just make one pranam that I will not hear 1 minute of Grami Katha. How much spiritual progress we make. Your mind is so peaceful, and you can, analyze and study Krishna consciousness so nicely. You will get so much time immediately. So much time we have. TV, newspaper, what all people are talking, all Grami Katha, and so much time, tons and tons of time is thrown. So if you just say I become silent in all that area, then you get so much time to study and discuss Krishna consciousness. So miscreants should be cut down. There is nothing like we see that Prabhupada is not saying we should encourage them. They should be punished when they do something. But true in Kali Yuga, the best process we give them a chance, they have to accept Lord Chaitanya's process. Otherwise, the hard way is that they have to be punished. Shastra and Shastra. First we give Shastra, then Shastra comes. If suppose even if government agents are weak, the Yamadutas are there to punish. But we can be saved from all the severe punishment of Yamadutas if we accept the simple process of Krishna consciousness. Yes, anything to add, Preeti?
Prabhu, I have some reference for the next shloka.
Okay, we go to the
Not
next.
here.
Furthermore, Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all.
Prabhu, I had one question from the previous shloka.
Which one?
That victorious one. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality.
Yeah. Yes, Satyamev Jayate, no? You say that, no? Satya ki jeet hoti hai. Just like Prabhupada says that even though Bhishma was on the side of the Kauravas, and that's one of the reasons Krishna kept Bhishma on the other side to show if you have a wrong cause, and even if you have a person like Bhishma with you, you're going to lose it. Why all the movies they do that only, they keep some very difficult condition. And still the person will, the hero will find something will happen. But I'm not saying that we will do so. Principle is that we all know at the end finally morality wins. Pandavas are also on the Yudhishthira Maharaj is firmly moral person. Yes, anybody wants to say? What do you say, Himali, on this? You think that doesn't happen generally? Morality doesn't win? See, suppose there is a personality and he is very honest, then he has no anxiety, he's so peaceful. Even though apparently he may not be at that moment. I tell you my own personal example. I had one relatives, and they immediate cousin relatives, and their parents are very corrupt, and therefore they never worked on it. And today they are nowhere. Here what happened in some families, I knew some more families of politics. They were very honest, and the children worked hard and they have grown up so much. I'm just saying normal morality. You know? So you may bring some money by corruption to homes, but that for the moment you can show a lot of opulence. But because it is come in a negative way, the people get used to easy money. Nobody works that. So it doesn't stay. Even materially, immorality doesn't stay. But if somebody is honest, that teaches in the whole family that the money is not so cheap, you have to work hard. When they know that you have to work hard, then they develop good character. They are not equal. And all the vices happen because of this. Yes. How do you say morality wins? Really?
Prabhu?
Yeah, she's saying how do you say so?
Among
all the greatness is morality.
Yes.
How do you define that?
How you will define that? Morality.
Of those who seek victory and morality. Well, Prabhu, I may be wrong, but the way I understand it is that so Krishna is okay. So Krishna himself does not. We had this nice discussion about what morality is. So, for example, you said that. Did you say that, or maybe I heard from other devotee? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's guru. He refused to give initiation to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati initially. That I don't initiate disciples. I don't initiate. I'm not going to initiate. So is that moral? Because we had a nice discussion about this. Is that moral? You can keep it moral. So it may sound very immoral and harsh, right? That somebody is coming to you and somebody is bowing down in front of you and you're just rejecting them. But Krishna himself sets the standard of morality. Whatever Krishna does is moral. It doesn't depend on my laws. What I feel in my mind is good, that is moral, and this is dancing with girls in the night is moral. No, but Krishna sets that morality. He's the standard. Now in Pandavas, and Kauravas, both of the parties were on the field because they wanted to win. This was the intention, even though this was not the intention of Arjuna, but if we overall look, Krishna wanted Pandavas to win. But Kauravas were not moral. They were not moral. So he sets up this example that you seek victory and you set the standard of the morality. The real meaning of morality, what I learned from that discussion was not what I feel is right. So what Krishna sets as a standard is moral. And everything else, it may appear to be very good, but is immoral. He proved it in the field of Kurukshetra by making the Pandavas win because they were very strict. Yes, Prabhu?
Your voice is cutting.
Oh, my voice is cutting. I don't know how much you... I think we should not move it. Just keep it there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, Prabhu, how much was I audible now?
Let's calm down.
Yes, Prabhu?
Our 2G is better than your 4G. Yeah, anyway, what you meant is that the morality, when we can define it in absolute terms, because finally Krishna is absolute truth. So what we generally talk of the mundane morality, when it comes to Krishna, it becomes spiritualized. So even though apparently Krishna made act Pandavas as immorality, he made them break so many vows of Kshatriya, but it is still highest morality.
Prabhuji, one question.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, how do we understand today's society in this respect?
Why it is? It's mine only breaking or everywhere it is breaking?
Prabhu, can you please repeat that?
Me, Mataji, or Namanishta Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu-
Yeah, Manoj. Maybe some signal, our group signal.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, I was trying to ask, how do we understand today's morality in today's society, today's principles, the world that we see today? How do we understand?
Okay, our own life morality. So one point is that I just give a very basic definition that if you are honest, by the Sato Vritti is one of the thing in our life. So if your livelihood is honest, it is very easy, peacefully we can practice Krishna consciousness. Generally, we should keep our life honest, moral. In the long run, it will always win because we are peaceful. But other part of it in practicing Krishna consciousness, sometimes what happens, there is something called victim and perpetrator. Now you are going without license in your car, and the traffic policeman catches you, and you say that you take some bribe and leave me. So that time you are a perpetrator, okay? But sometimes what happens is that you have your license and everything, and somehow some excuse he has found which is silly, and he wants to disturb you, and everybody's paying by bribe and getting away. Now you can be so-called moral man in this world and get stuck up there, but at that moment when you pay a bribe, you're a victim. You really did not want to give, but you can't change the world. You're a small person. The world is moving in a particular, just like you want a driving license. Now if you go to the RTO office and pay 11 rupees fees, they're not going to give you a driving license. The fees is only 11. But everybody, in the system, they pay 1,000 rupees outside to some broker and he gets you the license. So you try, but it doesn't work, then you become a victim. You're not a perpetrator. But you go without all the papers and he says, I can't, he's an honest man, I can't give you license. You say, no, take some bribe and give me license. Then you're a perpetrator. So I'm just talking mundane morality now. So our objective should be, sometimes it does happen, we become victim of the situation. At that moment, there is no need to be ideal moral man of this world and get stuck up. Better, get the work done and move ahead. Just.
It is circumstantial.
Yeah, circumstantial. You're a victim at that moment. You're not a perpetrator. The situation so demands and you're stuck, and that's the way things work. Just get out of that. So if you go to the mundane morality, finally Krishna says, on the morality and victory, then you will be there only with their 11 rupees. They will make you hang around. Yeah, anybody got driving license or paying the real fees? I don't know.
Here you can get.
Oh, Preeti's mother is saying in America you can pay actual fees.
Yeah, actually that's a fact, Prabhu. You pay the fees online and go and take the test and get it.
Of secret things I am silent, and of the wise and of secret things I am silent. So Prabhupada says, very nice point. Please remember this point. If you are silence, general, there is some. I've seen very few devotees having gravity. I get wonderstruck. There is one devotee. His name is Bhanu Maharaj, and he is based in Chennai. He's constantly reading all the time. He doesn't waste 1 second. And anytime you meet him, he's silent. He does not talk. Sometimes 2 days, 3 days in his room is silent. The people are there in his room, but he is not talking. He's busy working. He maintains silence. And there was one Rath Yatra I remember going in Chennai only. So he was sitting on the stage silent. I thought, what will he speak? He just silent like a Buddha. And then when his turn came to speak, he shook the whole audience. He doesn't know Tamil. He shook them all. Whole audience. He just for 5 minutes wasn't, jumping on the air. So that is nice. A devotee should maintain silence and internally keep his head at the lotus feet of Krishna. Not speak unnecessarily. You become very respected actually, isn't it? When you don't speak, actually, then your words have a value. You speak so much. So we speak when we have well thought, we have understood, and then people value our words. So it's good to be develop quality of what you say. This person is very grave. Krishna is the gravest of all. And in our life, definitely Krishna is fully silent. There is nothing to talk. We are so crazy. He doesn't talk only. So when we become great, then Krishna opens his mouth and he guides us. We can do like that. So today, by our activities, we have made Krishna silent. Deities are standing silent. They want to speak so many things. What to tell to these people? He's sitting silent. So Krishna is also practicing of the secret things. He is holding the secret of Krishna consciousness because you are not ready. Otherwise, I have wisdom. Silence is the most important because by silence one can make progress very quickly. Huh? Keep this in your mind, everybody. It's a very nice thing. Actually, people respect another person when he maintains silence. We think by speaking more we become intelligent, but actually by silence we become worshipful, isn't it? Because when you open our mouth, we have so much wonderful things to say. So I hope one day we become like that. Don't be silent now. Huh? Now is the time to speak, everybody. Here, Chapi. I'm just saying, like Prabhupada also says, no, when we are among karmis, we are careful. We just talk normally. We don't reveal Krishna consciousness every time. When you see the person has just no capacity, sometimes we become silent. But sometimes when a little opportunity is there, we try. Here, Chapi sarva bhutanam.
Yachapi sarva bhutanam.
Bijam tad aham arjuna.
Bijam aham arjuna.
Na tad asti vinayat syam. Maya bhutam characharam. Whatever Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or non-moving that can exist without me. Everything has a cause, and the cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable or unmovable can exist. Whatever existence is not found with the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. In fact, we were today studying in Chaitanya Charitamrita the 10 elements of 10 topics of Bhagavad Gita, and finally everything, Devatas, even Narayana forms of the Lord, the whole material energy, the creation, the secondary creation, everything finally has to take shelter of Krishna. Everything comes from Krishna. Yes, Preeti, you said you had something to say on this.
Yes, Prabhu, I read 2 nights ago. I'm reading Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela Volume 1.
Oh, you are there only. Why don't you join us on 3 o'clock Indian time, Sunday?
3 o'clock Indian time.
What is
morning for you? Yes, Prabhu.
What is the time for you?
It will be 5:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, but that's okay.
So by the time you start, it's many times 3:30. Okay, good. Yeah. So what you read?
So Adi Leela chapter 1, text number 51. Translation. I'll read translation and purport. It's very short, Prabhu. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Please hear attentively what I shall speak to you, for transcendental knowledge about me is not only scientific but also full of mysteries. In Purport, Prabhupada writes, transcendental knowledge of Sri Krishna is deeper than the impersonal knowledge of Brahman, for it includes knowledge of not only his form and personality.
Voice is cutting.
It's not related to me. Okay. Can you hear me now, Prabhu?
Now, yes.
Transcendental knowledge of Sri Krishna is deeper than the impersonal knowledge of Brahman, for it includes knowledge of not only his form and personality, but also everything else related to him. Prabhupada says, there is nothing in existence not related to Sri Krishna. In a sense, there is nothing but Sri Krishna. And yet nothing is Sri Krishna save and except his premier personality. I'll read again. In a sense, there is nothing but Sri Krishna, and yet nothing is Sri Krishna save and except his primeval personality. This knowledge constitutes a complete transcendental science, and Vishnu wanted to say Brahmaji full knowledge about that science. The mystery of this knowledge. So this is the mystery of this knowledge culminates in personal attachment to the Lord, with the resulting effect of detachment from anything non-Krishna. There are 9 alternative transcendental means of attaining this stage: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, worshipping, praying, assisting, fraternizing with the Lord, and sacrificing everything for Him. These are different parts of the same devotional service, which is full of transcendental mystery. The Lord said to Brahma that since he was pleased with him, by his grace the mystery was been revealed. Just Prabhupada says the same thing, that there is nothing in existence not related to Krishna. In a sense, there is nothing but Sri Krishna.
That is the, there is the Bhagavatam, there is Chatushloki Bhagavatam. 4 shlokas, whole Bhagavatam is summarized. So the first shloka is Krishna, I am the source for everything. And the last shloka is that anything which is not Krishna, that know to be Maya. That is, not Krishna is illusion. If you say there is something, see now, in this explanations, Krishna has connected himself to everything, to the mountains, to the tigers, to the snakes, everything. So there is nothing except Krishna. Basically, that way. Everywhere you are seeing some opulence, and Krishna is saying that relates to. How many shlokas are there remaining?
I'll have to look up.
Yes, Manoj, Patapata Yuri. Manoj, you are silent.
As stated in Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply, a few examples are being described to Arjuna to specify his inquisitiveness.
Okay. There is no end to the divine manifestation. Krishna only says after so many shlokas, Krishna says this is just a sample. Okay. Basically, we can't understand Krishna's transcendental nature. So, in whatever material nature, just like Krishna is beautiful like the rose, that's why Krishna is powerful in different qualities. Krishna says all belong to him. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Yes, Ananta Lakshmi, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Read.
Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence.
Hey, for all of you, the
Am
voice
I
is cutting
Prabhuji?
or his voice is no. Is it that Manoj? My voice is also cutting. Is it so?
Prabhuji, sometimes it is okay right now.
Huh?
It is okay right
now. Ananta Lakshmi's voice was clear. You could hear.
That was fluctuating. Anant Lakshmi's voice was fluctuating. Mataji.
Okay. Anything extraordinary of considered to be represented. So all the extraordinary opulences from all angles Krishna has taken, they belong to Krishna. But what is the need is there, Arjuna, of all the detailed knowledge, the single fragment of myself that pervades and supports this entire universe. This is the last shloka. I think I read because for me everybody's voice seems to be cutting. My voice, Manoj, is fine?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's fine.
Okay. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universe by his entering into all things as a supposed. So the Lord here tells Arjuna, there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. You should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as super soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest, and all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. Worship of the demigods is discouraged because herein even the greatest demigod like Brahma and Shiva only represent part of the opulent Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born and no one is greater than him. He is the Samata, which means that no one is superior to him. and no one is equal to him. In the Vishnu mantra, it is said that one who considered Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with demigod, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different description of opulence, the expansion of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Shri Krishna. He can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation of the Super Soul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotee therefore concentrate the mind in Krishna conscience full devotion service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotion service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter, in the verses 8 to 11. That is the way of pure devotion service. How one can attain the highest devotion perfection of association to the Supreme Personality Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Thus, in the Bhaktan, the purport of the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of opulence of the Absolute. Yeah, somebody likes to add something? Krishna is saying he is present as Super Soul everywhere, so all the manifestation and glory shown actually are because of the Paramatma. Okay? Because actually Jivatma can do nothing. Paramatma always shows all this, all the beautiful powers you are showing is because the Paramatma is seated in every heart. So therefore, in that way, all opulences he can claim Krishna belong to him. Yeah, somebody wants to say something. Ananta Lakshmi, Deka, Himali, Manoj, Preeti.
Prabhu, I want to say one thing. Prabhu, I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture a few days ago where he was explaining how we get allured by different qualities of different people. One thing which I really cannot forget, he said if we meet somebody who's very intelligent, if we meet somebody who's very rich, if we meet somebody who's very beautiful or qualified, this is how we think. We give to him and that's all. So that kind of set a limit that we should not get carried away. Oh my God, this person is so beautiful, so intelligent, so rich. But Krishna has given it to him and that's and also I get one realization, maybe okay, Krishna has all these qualities, but is that the reason why we should worship Krishna? Then Prabhupada actually answered that question. He said that the pure devotional service is explained in Shloka 8 to 11. That's what he said, Prabhu?
Correct.
So it's
see, he says if one can thoroughly study the different description of the opulence and the expansion of Krishna's energy, one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Shri Krishna and fix his mind in worship of Krishna without deviation. So, Prabhupada is saying here, it's not to be neglected. It's not that these shloka we will not hear, we will only hear 8 to 11. You wanted to do like that?
No. I just said that this establishes Krishna's position more, like it strengthens the faith that yes, there is no other.
Because we do Prabhupada used to laugh. Some people say, "Share jaisa mere ko hone ka share." Krishna is saying, "I am the share." People are enchanted by all these things. How they keep in the house a big, if they share a tiger photo, they will keep. They feel so happy, or lion photo keeps so happy. Krishna is saying, all you can think of the opulent thing in this whole universe, but a spark of my splendor. Okay. And Krishna, it is there in full. It is partially represented here and there, and that gives an indication. Just like the rose is beautiful, it gives an indication that Krishna is unlimitedly beautiful. So everything in the middle word, it gives some indication of Krishna's beautiness.
Last week. Last week we had Bhakti Vriksha. It was so nice. One devotee took class. He said that Krishna says that I maintain all this as a pearl on a string.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's fourth chapter. As the 4th chapter 34 shloka, my mother is saying, as a pearl. So the question was raised why Krishna takes a comparison of a pearl on a string.
Yeah, because the string
Why
is
he
removed,
doesn't?
everything will fall.
So yes, but he said he heard from other is that when there is a pearl necklace, the string is not visible. That's what he heard from other devotees in ISKCON. It's just we see just the pearls. So, but then as soon as there is no string, there is no pearl. So we see the external opulence of other people, or we don't even see that properly. We see what we concoct. What a big mystery. And in medical school, we were taught that when we see something, the image made in the brain is actually the opposite. It's upside down in the brain. I remember the professor telling us.
Yeah,
but he
so
said we don't know how it comes out to be.
No, they have more problem. They have something called a binding problem. Because you get from the eyes, the image is true, it's inverted. So it looks like somebody is standing inverted there to see the image. And the problem is how this all is done. And then you get input from the ears, you get input from the eyes, from the skin, and all is combined together. That's called binding problem as a one experience. Correct? It is one experience. So who is taking experience is not known first. Correct? All the brain different, things are sparking. But finally, who is the experiencer of the whole thing? And that is the problem. And how the things are combined and all these corrections done, inverted images again put properly.
Okay.
Chalo. Okay, we end here now today. Yes, today we finished one chapter. So 11th chapter, then everybody can read it. That is Vishwarupa chapter. We will discuss next time. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Jai.
Okay, Hare Krishna everybody. Hare Krishna Himali, Hare Krishna Apurva, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Manoj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Preeti.